it's a wrap with a bow on top. So I was just like, nah, like, we're not. I said, I have met with you too many times. I brought this man here. Like, I'm not going to go down without at least going to the judge and presenting my case. Like, for some reason, I felt like in that moment, I was more determined than she was. And that's not a slam, because I'm very grateful for her. But I just had a little bit more hope. And I think I was just that, like, eager for it to happen, because I had been thinking about it that whole year that I was living with my legal guardian. So fast forward to December 1st. On December 1st, I went to school, and I think I was a junior at the time. Yeah, so I went to school and left early. My legal guardian picked me up, and I probably looked weird as hell, like me dragging my eye. So my legal guardian picked me up. We drove down to the courthouse. We couldn't find it for like 5 minutes, so we were a little bit late. But fortunately, like, my lawyers were able to just stall the hearing, or whatever it's called. So we get there, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Because as soon as I walk into the courtroom, I see my lawyers both standing before the judge on the left side of the room, and then I see my dad, and guess who is behind my father? My two older sisters. I'm like, gee, what? Like, are you serious? Because, mind you, I have not spoken to my dad for an entire year, but I have had like a few interactions with my two older sisters. None of them were positive. In fact, at one point my sister tried to jump me in front of this, like, at school, like on my way to the bus stop. Another sister, like, I'm not even gonna get into it because those are all other story times, but basically I did not have any like positive interactions with my older sisters since I left with excuse me, I'm fumbling over my words. But basically, I had not had any positive interactions at all, like, with my two older sisters. So to see them standing there beside my dad, it just let me know some fuck shit was about to go down. I was just like, yeah, it's a wrap. Like, it's a wrap with a bow on top. Like, I might as well take my ass home. But, you know, I pushed myself into the courtroom, introduced myself to Your Honor, and then my lawyers spoke first, and they, you know, just stated my case very plainly. It was definitely some shit out of a TV show. Like, I was like, I can't believe this is happening right now. So the judge, she had my petition in her hands, and I know it's my petition because I just recognized like the thickness of the packet, and she was reading through it, just flipping through it, and she was asking me all these questions, asking all these questions. Why you asking all them questions, making statements? Okay. So she asked me, like, if I wrote the petition myself. She asked me like, if I was aware that I had been through a lot, and she told me she was very moved by my petition. She was like, wow, like, you're a very strong girl and you have so much poise, you seem like that. Like, she just read me basically, and I don't know why, she seemed so surprised that I was like standing there looking as I looked, like, just like, I don't know, intact and stuff. Like, I guess she expected some girl who was very unkept, and I don't know, because I'm not in her head, but I guess I just really surprised her with just what I looked like, and the fact that I had like done so well in school, and that was all stated in the petition, and just the way that I spoke. Like, she was like, you speak so eloquently and stuff. Like, I don't know, she seemed to really like favor me in the moment, and I was like, thank you. Like, it was flattering, but at the same time, I don't know, it made me wonder what she expected. Like, who did she expect to roll in here? Like, what did she think I was gonna look like? Trash? Like, I understand that my life, yeah, definitely has been a series of shambles. Oh, yes. But, you know, I don't know, I guess I just don't like to wear it on me, and I did for a long time. I wore how like depressed I was and sad and like unkept and everything. Like, I went through that phase for sure, but I was out of that for some time by the time I was in the courthouse and, you know, in that stage of my life, which is why I was kind of like, oh no, girl, like that's not who you're gonna see anymore. Like the girl who's unkept and dysfunctional and, you know, like shriveling into nothingness before everyone that she stands before. No, like that's not gonna happen anymore. No, bitch. So, and then, she asked me to state my case basically for myself. She was just like, so why do you want to become an emancipated minor? And I was just like, look, shorty, like, we don't have enough time. I'm just kidding. But I basically said to her, with my voice shaking the entire time, it was like kind of embarrassing. But I said that I read about how there are a lot of benefits if you become an emancipated minor, at least when it comes to college. Like for the FAFSA, you'll get a little bit more of a financial cushion from them or from the government if you're an emancipated minor, because you're like obviously like you lack or parental support. And I told her that I had been living away from my parents anyway, and that I had developed a relationship with my legal guardian already, and I was enjoying seeing myself in this new chapter basically, and I wanted to see how I would grow. I don't know, I stated some other stuff, but I kept it pretty neutral. I didn't really mention the fact that, like, you know, the dynamics between myself and my parents was a very toxic one that I did not thrive from. The living conditions, the circumstances, the tensions, and the just all the weirdness and the animosity between myself, my siblings, my parents. The whole structure just needed to be thrown away, to be honest. Like, honestly, like, it was just as much compassion and empathy I can have for my biological family members. It was like not a single one of us thrived in that environment, and I hope to this day they recognize that, because I don't think they ever did, at least when I lived with them in the 8 years. Like, it was just super unhealthy, super toxic, and I'm not going to go into all of that because you can read about it in my poetry collection, and again, that's just another series of story times. But I stayed away from that part, the fact that I had experienced like a lot of trauma and just dark times when I lived with my parents, and I just didn't want to go back to that. Like, I was ready to, honestly, I was ready to kill myself before I went back to that, because I was like, this is just not, like, I don't want to. Like, I felt like I had made some strides, you know, maybe elevated myself a little bit, and I felt like if I were to go back to living with my parents and living with my siblings and just shriveling back into nothingness like I did around my biological family members, then it would just be like a slap in the face to all the ways in which I had evolved in that year apart from them. So even though that's what I really wanted to say, I just kept it neutral and centered it around just wanting to, you know, stay with my legal guardian and stuff like that. So then the judge asked my legal guardian to speak and asked her some questions like, you know, why did you take her into your home and stuff like that. And long story short, my legal guardian started crying and talked about how she's seen me grow so much in the year, and I'm sure like the judge was very moved by her words too. So then she asked my dad. She turned to my dad and she said to him, first of all, I just want to say, like, you have an incredible daughter. And she complimented me some more and told my dad how much she was impressed by me. And then she asked him, you know, to talk about his situation, like, you know, who he's living with, who he's taking care of, like where he works, all that stuff. And basically state like why I should be with him. And he mentioned like I'm his daughter, you know, he didn't get me into his custody until I was like 7 going on 8. So, you know, since then he's wanted to build a relationship with me and all this stuff. So so she posed a question, do you accept this petition for emancipation? Like, do you grant her emancipation? And my dad was like, one moment, I need to consult with my daughters. He was like, I need to ask my daughters. That's what he said. I need to ask my daughters. And I'm looking at this man like, are you fucking serious? I'm looking at him like, are you fucking serious? I was like, G, are you serious? Like, when I tell you, every bone in my body, every ounce of bone marrow within me was on some like, all right, like we're gonna have to pull up after this kind of, because I really just did not expect anything good to come of that, because I'm looking at my sisters. They're standing there stone cold in the face, and I already know they're on some fuck shit. In fact, to top it all off, in fact, after the judge asked my dad if he accepts the petition for emancipation, if he grants me it, my sisters are in the back like, "Daddy, say no. Say no, Daddy. No. Say no. Don't do it." I'm not even fucking kidding. Like, they were literally in the back of, like, standing behind my dad, like, "Say no. Say no." I'm like, you're not even trying to whisper. Like, what is all of this? Like, you're not even trying to hide the fact. Like, how fucking dare you? How dare you? I was, like, livid. Like, are you fucking serious? Livid. Like, wow. Because I'm thinking to myself, gee, we've all gone through so much, so much with everybody, with our parents, with the other siblings. Like, it has been really hard, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. We have endured a lot of fuck shit from everyone in that house. And you bitches got away. One person left, another person left, another brother left. Like, all of y'all have found your way out of, like, you have slithered away. Yet for some reason, when Starlini wants to get up and Starlini wants to vacate the premises, it's a problem. Starlini wants to evacuate the fucking building, and it's a problem. Why art thou? Why? Can someone please enlighten me? Why? ¿Por qué? Please, ¿por qué? Háblame, ¿por qué? I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, you guys hate me that much. You guys want me to suffer that much. I have you bitches so pressed that you want me to suffer that much. And it makes me think, like, what did I ever do to you? Really? Not on some, like, I'm innocent, like, I wouldn't ever hurt a fly, because I would if I needed to. But what did I ever really do to you guys, that to the point where no matter what I have gone through, no matter what you have seen happen to me, you still want me to suffer? You want me to end up on the floor, beaten and bruised and broken, emotionally, physically, and all of the sort? Like, you guys really dislike me that much? Like, really? It was wow. I was just like I'm feeling everything that I felt in the courthouse right now as I speak on it, because like I said, I never really talk about this day, especially to this extent. But I was definitely in my feelings. I was definitely feeling just like picking up a pile of plates and throwing it at the wall, or throwing it at them, honestly. Like, I was just like, wow, this is crazy. But yeah, it didn't surprise me. It did not, because nothing really surprises me anymore. It didn't surprise me, but it definitely disappointed me. I was just like, wow. My sisters, right? My family. There's my family for you. So, that my dad went to the, I'm sorry, I just like went on a whole rant, but my dad like went around the corner of the courthouse, like inside, we're still in the room, not the courthouse, I mean the courtroom. So my dad like went to a side of the courtroom behind this wall. Like, we could still hear him if you like try to listen closely, but he was back there with my sisters for like a good 3 or 5 minutes or something. And my legal guardian was like, you should use this opportunity to tell the judge that your dad is like, you know, like mentally challenged or something like that. I don't remember what she said word for word, but I hesitated for a second, because I was like, I know that that's gonna be me trying to sabotage the case and like help things in my favor, which, you know, obviously makes sense because I wanted to be emancipated, but something in me was like, damn, you know. But so what I decided to do is pretty much that I just didn't call him like mentally challenged. I told her that my dad didn't go to school in this country. He did not, you know, make it to high school or graduate from high school. He, you know, and English is not his first language. So that's why he's consulting with my sisters. I told her something like that, just like basically a sugar-coated version of what she said, which still made me feel kind of guilty, because I felt like I was basically stating to the judge that my dad is lesser than, and he's not. Like, I don't have a relationship with my dad. I don't have the father-daughter bond. Like, I don't have that with him that that like warm feeling that some people express for their parents. You know, but I will never sit here and say that my dad is stupid or that my dad is like less than. He's more hardworking than some people who were brought up in this first world ass country. My dad is obviously someone with integrity and intellect. How else could he raise an entire family in a country where the English is not his first language? And I don't know, he got here like in the around 30 or something like that. Like, to grow up in an entire different country, an entire different culture, and then come here into this country where things are very, very, very different. Everything is just different. To then be exposed to that and still manage to thrive in some ways. Like, did he accumulate any of the things that in this country we deem necessary in order to be considered successful or worthy? No. You know, he's not living his best life, so to speak. At least I don't think he is. But my dad is not a stupid man. My dad is definitely someone worthy and deserving of respect. So there's a part, so when I said that to the judge, there's a part of me that, you know, recognized there was something wrong with me saying whatever I said, no matter how, like, how much I sugarcoated it or whatever. But I said what I said. I did. And the judge was like, oh, okay, you know, like,